James Webb here with Severe MMA. Here with the unexpected champ, Pat Sheehan.
How dare you? Listen to this guy here. He gets this belt and he thinks he's a big man. Now we're coming over here. I better hand you back that because it'll break my shoulder. Sean Sheehan here, of course, with the Cage Warriors middleweight champion James Webb down in Cork here as Cage Warriors return. First things first, I suppose, but down in Cork, obviously, you know, you're kind of half living in Dublin now, training in Dublin and stuff. Would you love to get a big fight over here in Ireland sometime? I know a lot of people, PC over there calls you Dandy Townsend of Irish MMA and stuff. Would you love to get a fight in Ireland?
I'd love to have a fight in Ireland. There's something I said a long time ago, especially after building quite a good fan base like with Team KFA. A lot of the guys actually do like me, so I think they'd come and show their support. So yeah, definitely I'd love to have fought in Ireland. I think Dublin, I'd love to have fought in Dublin Free Arena or something like that. But Cork would be good as well. When they actually announced the Cork card, I was thinking, will I maybe get on that? Who knows, you know? So, yeah, I'd love to. That's definitely in the pipeline somewhere, you know? We'll see.
Well, I suppose before that, you have a fight coming up here, Matthias Frederick again in 2 weeks. Yeah. I talked to you before the last fight, and I suppose the fight, it was a tough fight, obviously a draw, so running it back straight away again. What, I suppose, do you take from that fight coming into the next one?
I'm very thankful for my S&C team, you know. That's what I took away from that. Like 25 minutes of fight, and especially the way I fight is very hard, you know. I'm happy to run it back, you know. I don't know what you take away from it really. I took away a lot of a disappointment, but a lot of things to learn, improve, and then showcase in 2 weeks.
After that fight, and, you know, I talk a lot about judging on the podcast, and there was a lot of talk about the judging after that fight. And I suppose judging has changed over the years, where it's more now about, rather than dominating position, it's more about what you do and land from something in that position. Is that something you've kind of taken from that fight and said, okay, I need to maybe do more damage and make it absolutely emphatic in those positions?
Yeah, I always believed sort of taking down, controlling, was always scored fairly high, you know. You know, I'm imposing my will, pushing to the cage, whether I'm like, you know, if your back's on the cage, I see it as having your back on the floor, you know. We always saw that as a losing position. Even if you are throwing shots, it's not like you wanted to be there almost, you know, where I did want to be where I was. Things that I did take away especially was what's been my success turned into my demise, if that's the right word. Like, I was always looking for a highlight submission, thinking, I'll be able to force someone into giving the back, getting the choke. And it's something that I've worked on to like drum out of me. You know, that's been second nature to me. As soon as I see certain positions, I'd look for the back, I'd look to put hooks in, look for the choke, and even the mount as such, I'd look for the mount, I'd force positions knowing that I'd get there, and then it was my demise, you know, by looking for these positions. If someone doesn't want to grapple with you and they want to get to their feet, they will, you know. So I had to work on changing things up, and I have, you know, things have definitely changed.
So is that something with Matthias Frederick? Obviously, you know, to get away from your game totally and taking guys down, it's obviously very good. But is that something you're looking at him and saying, maybe there's opportunities to do more of that in that fight and I'm going to do more of it this fight? Or is it the case of I want to maybe do a little bit more on the feet as well?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, to be fair. Like, there's going to be a lot more done on the feet. Like the game plan was to get the takedown and to get the finish. It just didn't happen the way I wanted it to go, and I kept that same game plan going the whole time. I didn't change anything up, which was, as a fighter, that's not the best thing to admit. Like, it shows like almost a poor IQ. Like, I was just like, I'm going to keep doing this because I'm succeeding there. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like I didn't feel like I was ever down, but now after knowing how it's scored, yeah, like I'm gonna change things, you know. I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive on the field. Like, that's how I want to be almost, you know. Like, I just thought the easiest route for me was to get that straight away, get in, get down, and get a finish.
Yeah, really looking forward to 2 weeks time. A couple more things. Obviously, you're in Irish MMA now, and there's been a lot of talk on Irish MMA this week, especially your gym at the centre of it, you know, with Tom King and Chris Fields and everything.
That's the best gym in Ireland. Team KF. That's the best gym in Ireland.
What's your take on it? The last time I spoke to you, you know, you mentioned about SBG and you'd gone training there and you had a couple of problems with there and you moved over to Team KF. What's your take on the whole situation?
I didn't ever move over. Like, I went to go and train with Chris, and I think that was a ridiculous gym fee, you know, for the week. Something around €150 to train. And then Chris was like, nah, scrap that, you come train with me. And then when he opened up his place, he took me under his wing as such, you know. And now we share baths together. No, we don't. That's a joke.
Oh yeah, you said that to me last time.
We have a quite
Share a bit.
we have a good relationship, you know. So he really looked after me. The reason I'm fucking here is because of him. It literally is because of him, you know. Like there'd be many times where I'd be like, fuck this now, you know. But he's the reason I'm here. He puts up with me. He puts me up, gives me some cash here and there. He looks after me, you know, and I'm fucking gonna back him to the hills. Him and Tom, you know. I believe everything they've been saying is right, and it's the best team in Ireland, Team KF, best team in Ireland. Look back at the win-lose ratio, you know. So.
And obviously Ian Gary is fighting tonight here as well, and he made a bit of controversy during the week there by saying he's going to move up to middleweight and take your belt off you. What do you think when he said that?
He's only messing. Ian's only got a P head for welterweight. He hasn't got the head for middleweight. No, he'll get there. He'll, you know, like I don't know. Maybe he'll be alright at welterweight, but I feel like in the next 5 years he'll probably move up. But hopefully I'm not still here. You know, like I hopefully move on to better things for myself. You know, so if he's looking for the middleweight belt in the future, yeah, come get it. But I won't be on it. You know.
And last question here, I suppose. That seems to be the thing with all the cage warriors guys. Obviously, especially when the champions, and even talking to Ian during the week, that it's the UFC next, and that's the path. You know, walk out your path for us over the next maybe couple of months, couple of years, whatever it is, between getting to the UFC.
The next couple of months for me, win this fight, have Christmas. Big fan of Christmas, you know. And then the new year, it's going to be looking to sign to the UFC, you know. I believe I'm good enough to be there, you know. You don't hold a Cage Warriors belt without being good enough, you know. So the new year, hopefully, I'll be there in London again. We'll see.
James Webb, thank you very much, and hopefully that won't be the last time I hold that Cage Warriors belt.